Imagine watching a once beloved steakhouse turn into a salad bar. Sure, it's a change, but is it really for the better? I've been observing Star Wars: The Acolyte and the mixed reactions it's been getting. As a longtime fan of the franchise, I suspected that the girl branding was gonna hurt the show. But once it became clear that the story was turning into an unhinged lesbian fantasy where men aren't even needed as sperm donors, I no longer suspected, I knew. Changing Star Wars from a series about the mythic hero's journey to lesbian space witches will be the costliest mistake Disney will ever make. Why? Because the Star Wars movies created by George Lucas were in a specific genre, myth, and served a specific audience, young men. Today, Disney is trying to erase that. When I was younger, my friends and I used to debate whether Star Wars or Star Trek was better. But now, we debate which one is worse. And look, the problem with shows like Acolyte isn't just one of genre misplacement, nor is it a culture war issue of woke versus red pill entertainment. It's about good writing. So let's take a look at the 4th episode of Acolyte to see what I mean. In it, the bad Jedi twin May heads to a forest planet to locate and assassinate a Wookiee Jedi. One of her allies in the story, a supposedly goofy merchant named Khayr, joins her. At the same time, the good Jedi, along with our good twin, Osha, are trying to catch up to May and Khayr before they accomplish their mission. Most of the episode is characters walking through a forest. This is one of the most obvious blunders by the show's writers. Walking through a forest is often bland, repetitive, and as a result, boring, which was what the episode turned out to be, bland and boring. Look, a massive problem for these Star Wars shows is that due to their TV budget, they're forced to play out a lot of scenes like traditional TV with 2 to 3 people talking in a room. Chatting in rooms is usually boring. So here's a tip to any Star Wars TV writers listening to this. If you have to write people talking in a room, have them doing something. Maybe one of them is teaching the other lightsaber techniques. Now they're actually doing something visually interesting, and you could bake in the dialogue in and around the action. This is going to be a much better scene than if the Jedi were just standing around, shooting the breeze with each other. Anyway, what's the lesson here? There are 2. If you want to continue enjoying a beloved series, then you need to insist that its creators stay true to the core elements that made it great to begin with. The second lesson is if a company wants to get you to watch a story in an ultra-complex, mythology-heavy, lore-constricted environment like Star Wars, you need to insist that the writing be top-notch, or you're not watching. You are under no obligation to be loyal to crap. My new comic book, The Lesser Evil Where Angels Fall, Monsters Rise, is a story that remains true to the roots of what makes fantasy and horror great and offers an addictive story set in Byzantine Constantinople. It delves into the dark origin story of Koja, a pampered boy turned masked murder machine. Lovingly drawn by Professor Aurelio Mazzara of the prestigious Scuola Del Fumetto in Italy, this wordless 8-page comic is a visual feast of dark fantasy. It's going to be released later this summer, God willing, so scan your QR code or click the link below to receive notices about new books, merchandise, and videos.